In 2008, a new company would be started online that would change the world. The name of that company was called Shein, and it was started completely as an online shop. That means it wasn't like Macy's or The Gap. No, you couldn't go on and buy it. You just ordered online and it shipped to you. But nobody expected that within 15 years, this same company will be worth $100 billion. But what makes Shein very interesting is that it didn't get rich in China. It got rich in America. Why is that?
I think a lot of people would be surprised to see that Chinese people don't really know what Shein is. I know because I work in the online e-commerce space. I'm a digital marketing person. But in China, the e-commerce space is very decentralized.
As the young man said, many Chinese people don't know anything about Shein because most of the online boutiques are decentralized, meaning that you have a whole lot of competition. But by making clothes very cheap and shipping to the United States, even though all the taxes that the company pays coming into the States, it doesn't matter. Shein offers people affordability and value at the same time. So when it was announced that there was going to be a pop-up shop in Atlanta, people started going crazy.
Hear me out, y'all. I feel like Shein or Shein, wherever you guys call it, are doing these pop-up shops in these certain cities, like for example, my city, Atlanta, because they are testing out how the public is going to react for when they're about to open in these locations.
But wait, there's more.
I got there at 10:30 a.m. Doors didn't open until 11. When I got there, the line was outside the door. If you go early, prepare to wait in line for at least 2 to 3 hours. Initially, I heard that they were letting 150 people in at a time, so the line kind of moved quickly. But as people come out, they let people in. There's a couple ghetto people who was cutting the line and skipping the line.
This pop-up shop allegedly is running from August 7th to August 10th. I'm not sure it's still running right now, but it could be one more day. And it's going viral, all right? It's this weekend. People are going there, buying clothes. I mean, you heard the lady said 150 people are coming at a time, and then sometimes they'll let 4 in or 5 in, they'll let 5 out. And of course, they're getting rich. And people are believing that Shein is operating these pop-up shops because eventually it wants to operate its own stores in the United States. But let's go back to the fact that Shein's owner is Chinese. It's owned by a Chinese business. And this is what is getting people to complain about it in some of the pro-black communities. You see, on one end, black women don't have any problem with supporting Shein that are Chinese or Asian. But at the same time, these same black women have a problem with supporting other Africans. And again, I bring this situation back to the Essence Festival. When the Essence Festival was going on, a lot of black Americans were complaining about the jollof rice. Black Americans were complaining about some of the things going on in the event. But at the same time, you don't hear the same complaint when it comes to Shein. And a good buddy of mine who's from my city, Sacramento, stopped the show. That's right, one of the greatest cities in the world because I'm from there. Broke it down like this.
Vietnamese Indians were upset with Richelieu Dennis. Now leave Richelieu Dennis alone. Continue to support Essence. Because again, we have no problem giving our money to the Indian, the Korean beauty supply store, the Vietnamese nail tech or whatever it's called. We'll give all our money to all these groups. For some reason now we got problems with Richelieu Dennis. Let that man cook. Because I was reading somewhere, I was watching somewhere where a lady was like, black women should boycott Essence because Essence was to showcase black American women. And for some reason, black folks are still mad over the jollof rice versus jambalaya, when jollof rice is the base of jambalaya. Again, when jollof rice is the base of jambalaya, they were like, sisters should not support Essence. And I'm just like, why would you want to boycott Essence but you still go to the Vietnamese nail salon. You still go to the Korean beauty supply store. You still support the Indian corner store. So why this energy for Richelieu Dennis?
Now, he's referring to the Essence Festival owned by Richelieu Dennis. Now, of course, he made this video well before the Shein pop-up shop happened, and he actually lives in Atlanta now, which is interesting, but he does make some strong points. The points are this: black people have a problem supporting each other, but at the same time, they don't have a problem supporting a Chinese store. They don't have a problem supporting Indian-owned stores or Arab liquor stores. And the result of these stores that come into the black community is actually catastrophic.
Yes, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. And as I've said before, as a result of this, black wealth is essentially paid out twice when it goes to Asian American businesses. Once when the individual pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian American business owner removes the profit from the community. Because usually people open businesses in their own communities, and this is mutually beneficial, where the business owner is making a livelihood off of providing goods and services to their community.
Now, in this case, the Asian lady talks about the fact that Asian businesses were not allowed to start up in white communities, so they came to the black communities. So what happens? Well, the Asian stores that come into the black communities, they typically don't associate with blacks like that. And so what happens is the first thing they do is sell blacks the goods and services. That's really not a problem. But the issue is these Asian-owned stores, and I can include Arabs, I can include Indians, I can include, Pakistanians. They take the profits that they make from these communities, and then they take them out of those communities. So what means is that money doesn't circulate, and they still build their people up with the same money. They send their kids to college. Basically they build houses, they build other businesses. In the communities, they're being extracted for their finance and for their wealth, and they're not being developed at all. And the same case could be made for the pop-up at Shein. You have a Chinese person who owns his business, and he's coming into Dunwoody, into this mall, Perimeter Mall, and you have women, you have men too, but black women in general are buying these clothes, and he's extracting the money and taking the money back to China. But here's the stark difference between what Dinah Samir is talking about with the search for Huru and what's going on with Shein. The first thing is that the Chinese people are giving blacks exactly what they want. Now, the argument that he has is a strong one, and yes, we do have a history of supporting Chinese nail shops with bad attitudes, Indian stores, and all of that. Yes, I've seen blacks do it and still go back. But the issue is that Shein has everything that maybe black suppliers may lack. The right price, a certain level of customer service. You can even exchange your clothes and get discounts at Forever 21. And they understand how to give this value the same quality and a price that women like. This may be different for what happens with other black businesses. When I'm talking about other black businesses, let me qualify that as African businesses, African braid shop businesses. When you hear blacks talk about not supporting black businesses, you hear it from a tonality of overpricing, lack of customer service, lack of respect. So on one end, the Chinese person is giving me the price that I want, great customer service, and my money goes further, while the African business may be late, bad customer service, and even disrespectful. So when you look at Shein and why it's such a phenomenon, we're typically talking about two different things. Now, there is a sweet spot in between, and we understand this. But the main point of all of this comes down to one fact. Black women don't care or black people don't care that Shein is owned by somebody from Asia. That doesn't matter. What they care about is it's a great product, it's a great service, it's what they want, and they're gonna buy it. That's almost anybody, okay? Even in black businesses. Of course, black folks can hate on you and all that other stuff, but if you have a great product and a great service and you really want to serve your customers, people will support you. We've seen plenty of black businesses get supported in America. African businesses, the same way. But when we look at it as, well, that you're supporting the Asians and not the blacks, well, that also entails that the blacks have every opportunity to be rude and have a seller's market mentality and not care about its customers. But at the same time, we support Asians that have the same mentality. And while that could be here or there, the reality is successful businesses like Shein have a customer first mentality, while the blacks or African businesses that are being complained about have a seller's market mentality. The solution to all of this is to have a customer service mentality as a black business. And if this can be met with good customer service, the right price point, and availability, blacks will then have a more reason to support the black businesses over the Asian businesses. It's just not black and white or just so easy to figure out. Dinah Samir, aka Search for Huru, did bring out a good point. But guys, what do you think it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk, which is your for all the Discord bell. We're out.